Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stream. Yes, indeed, we are live once again. So we're live over on the Twitch and, in fact, on the YouTube, or if you're watching the video later, hi all, and welcome to the video. Aye. Time for some social mediaing, I think. Yes, indeed. Let's get the word out. Sort of, kind of thing. I don't know. We're here anyway. It's Saturday. I wasn't actually planning a stream, but as luck would have it, I can. So I am. Anyway. And a bit more on the book face. Toast on beans. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. One more to do, and then, no, two more to do. We're nearly there. Don't worry. When are you pulling the plug on this too? What do you mean pulling the plug? You say that like it's inevitable. Well, I was hoping to pick up another weapon. And I was thinking, I should be using maybe an alien weapon or something like that. Oh, let's go to the live screen. There we go. So I went for a bit of a look over here on GMI, and I thought, oh yeah, you know, alien weapon. Maybe that'd be better than a shop-bought weapon. So I came for a look, and the Kai's Oshk, or however it's pronounced, Nunchukako or whatever. It's the nunchucks from Alien Raid. So Type 48 has the brawl and everything. None for sale. Regular ones, the highest quality I could see was 186, which is not really going to do it. Yeah, nah, it's not very good. 183 to 217 versus just that store-bought one. That one is 110 to 398. So yeah, it's better than that anyway, and that's the highest one on GMI. I've looked on AO items. I've got a 193 floating about, but that's it. That's all I've got. Never had one on. Yeah, I've never had one on the MA Engineer. I'm not sure what he used. He's got the dreadlock one at the moment, so there's that. But yeah, that's kind of it. So yeah, not sure what we can do about that. We haven't got, and no one's got one for sale, and we don't have one. What do you do? I'm sure they're out there. Oh, I'm full of whatever crap I've got here. Artifacts, World Catalogue of Books. Do I need that? I don't think I need that. I'll keep hold of it anyway. Don't need that. We haven't got that mission. Got this stuff, which I don't need either. Oh, you feel the core of your being shift as the source makes room for a divine presence. Farron has reached enlightenment. Congratulations. Yeah, so don't know on that score. We'll just go with the glove for now. Like an elite assignment. Prisoner mission, please. Goodbye. Right, okay. And then let's pick up an alien daily. Mission complete. I looked at some setups too. Some of them were quite interesting. There's AO setups. I've forgotten about that place. I don't often use sites like that, but I went to use it. Just had a quick search. Where did I put it? Yeah, so here's a guy using the nunchuckos here. I think this is Tinkering Idiot's site. And it is excellent. It's got the hover over as well, so you're like, oh, what's that? You know, and it just, bang, tells you straight away, which is awesome. So that's their setup. They've got 2 of those nunchucks, but they've also got communication larvae, so they've been in Sector 7, I guess. But I went in, just looked at modules, so the Bow MA one, yeah, they're using Chaos of the Zan, which we can't use until we carry on with Bow. We can't use that until, I think, 2.15. I think. Or is there no requirement? Is there no level requirement on that? Title level 6. Oh, there isn't. Okay. Doable then. I'm looking at the old comments from 2009. Yeah, so all of that. Quite interesting. Right, anyway, we got the dailies. Let's go and talk to the freelancers. Try and pick up some buffs as well. Yeah, I didn't remember to change the Twitch schedule, so I don't know how many people will show up, actually. Is it working okay? Yes, we've got transcoding and everything, so yeah, we're not doing too bad. We're doing okay. Right, where are we going? ICC. Was there any nunchucks in the OFAB store? Didn't think of that. I know there's no bows. Melee weapons. Okay, so we've got a bear, which is 2-hand blunt. Mongoose is 1-hand edge. It is. Panther, 1-hand blunt. Viper, that's piercing. And that's all she wrote. Why are there so few of those? Rocket launcher? Who the hell uses that? Cobra, rifle. Hawk. SMG. Peregrine, that's pistol. Shark is assault rifle. Silverback, shotgun. Tiger is the bow, which is a possibility, but in all those bow setups, I didn't see, like Bow MA, they're not using it. Is that just cause? Bow MA 220 is another one there. Yeah, everyone at 220 is using that. They're using the Chaos. Some of these are like twinks and lower builds. So, you know, excellent, but level 200 slapper. Yeah, it's the X1R7 blades, awesome. And then Kuma Tomfer. That's upgraded weapon as well, isn't it? It's quick. It's got good damage on it. But yeah, there's nothing like that in the OFAB shop, unfortunately. You gained alien. Oh, did I not hand the alien last time? I guess I didn't. Oh well, I've done it now. Let's get that freelancers before we forget. Yeah, we did hand freelancers in. I just had a horrible moment there. Good, Big Bob, welcome to the stream. What's the weapon? Nothing special, it's just a stun glove. Which is certainly not, you know... Excuse me. Not that exciting. It was just a how much better off would we be not using bow experiment. And the only thing I've changed is it perks. And then put that on, and instantly was doing way more damage, which is why it's the bow playthrough, sort of. Because it might be that we do some leveling without the bow. Quite a bit better. Yeah, quite literally a bit better. Yeah, unfortunately that is the case. Yeah. There we go, we got a bunch of buffs. What does grid space give? It gives 79 but gives run speed, but I'd rather the extra evades. Yes, I would. Commendable for how far you got with it. Yeah, but we've been using that weapon since 151. And we're now 209, so it feels like a long time with that weapon and not really progressing. It was really good when we first got it on, but now it kind of feels like it's, I don't know, kind of dragging its feet a little. So I went to look for some MA weapons like Tonfas or Kumo or whatever. Well, actually, let's quickly... So I can't think of how many weapons are available, so I'm just going to recheck something. So we looked for the alien variant, Nunchuck, which is all fine and dandy, except there weren't any. It makes me want to sign up again. So that was... Is it Tonfa? What did that guy have? Tonfa. That's it, yeah. There's a few variants of Tonfa. Let's just see what's... Immorta. Okay, let's sell orders, just see. 30 million. That's a 250 Immorta. What's wrong with that? Why is it so cheap? Oh, it's one-hand blunt? Okay. Doesn't seem right, does it? Immorta Tonfa. Is that going to be the same? One-hand blunt again. Okay. Weird. Yeah, you would think that would not be one-hand blunt. But apparently it is. Anyway. There's no drop. Oh, well, maybe someone's just using a no drop. How have they put a no drop on GMI then? Or is that just... Shame you didn't stick to bow. I've no better bow to go to until I get a beast weapon and upgrade it. I haven't gotten rid of bow Bow is still there. All we did was a perk reset. So it's not like a complete reskill and retool or anything like that. So sell orders, weapons. Well, it can't be no drop if it's for sale on GMI, can it? Doesn't seem to be no drop. Beast bow is possible at your level. Isn't that no? Well, at number one it's no drop, but number two, is it any good until it's upgraded? We were looking at this. So we were just looking at other people's builds, see what other people are doing. And yeah, they've got that Chaos of the Zan. Yeah, that I would love. I would throw it on as soon as I could. Somehow, wrangle, whatever. I would just throw it straight on. But I haven't got one. I'm not sure what the unupgraded version would be like. Isn't there a beast guide? Pandemonium, yeah, there we go. So the beast weapon when it does drop. I don't imagine that's all that amazing. Yeah, Lord or Lady of Chaos. Yeah, it's much slower. Has no specials and a very high requirement. So the upgraded version is a lot better. So we'd need to get a Lord of Chaos somehow. And then a weapon upgrade as well. Then we'd be cooking for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I need moochems. Composite moochems. I'll give it to myself. I don't seem to... Well, loads of people come into the Storm Hangout for some reason lately. Don't know why. Yeah, I'll just buff myself rather than trying to find someone's buff bot or whatever. Yeah, I even looked. It's weird, isn't it, that MA gets a higher martial arts buff than a martial artist does? That also kind of seems a bit, wait, what? You know? Yeah, all the 220 bow build MAs on that I've looked at, they all want Chaos of the Zan as the go-to weapon. And it doesn't say if they hot swap with anything else in between. Possibly they do. Can I cast the 4-hour on this guy? I hope so. Where's my... Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, well, I can't cast it myself yet. Damn you, Atrox. There you go. You got sure shot glasses? No. Oh, I do have some. They're wearing them. Gothic. Yeah, we do have them. But we've got them in social. Bow for 70, bow special for 71, and then in it. Yeah, we've got them, Rello. I forgot about that. I've been wearing them in social. I think somebody handed them to us really early on, like level 5 or something. I was like, yep, that's great, but we're not wearing them yet. And then I've completely forgot that I've got them because I'm not actually wearing them. Yeah, there is a good amount of bow, but it's weird, isn't it? You get plus 400 with Slayer Droid transference to martial artist skill, but you only get 4 Fists of Kali is the top buff, and that's 160. So, yeah, I don't... Yeah, is there not maybe a higher MA buff from the DB quest or something? Jason A. AO still have many players. Re-downloaded last night, didn't see anyone. Depends what time zone you're in as well. That's the thing. If you're in, like, non-EU time zone, yeah, it can be really quiet, to be honest. Did I watch it? No. There's no reason to watch it. They tried to play it as a brand new player and struggled. And then base their review on their experience. That's fine. I think their thing was the onboarding is difficult. Yeah, it is. If your approach is, I've bought a brand new car, I don't know how to drive, I've got the manual, and the manual for the car doesn't teach me to drive. It just tells me how to operate the car. And I'm like, yes, you need, yeah, it's a multiplayer game. You need to interact with other people in order to play it and probably learn how to play it. So they're just coming from a different, I guess, mindset, and that's fine. and Funcom ain't going to change it or fix it. We know that. I mean, the last thing they did to try and make the introduction to the game simpler for or more, give more explanation to players was a read, which doesn't really teach you much about the game, that you can easily miss so much. I think they've posted a second video, haven't they? Or saying, was I wrong? Well, no, yes, no, no, yes. You're not wrong to express your opinion of your own experience. But at the same time, does that make it a bad game? Well, that's a discussion, not a question, you know? Plus 120 bow. Yeah, the DB quest nano. Yeah, that's from the DB quest, that. Which we haven't done, and we can't do yet. You can't do that. Well, you can do the DB quest before 215, but you can't equip the nano deck until 215, which means you can't use the nanos from it until 215. Yeah, you can do, but can't cast the goddamn nano. Yeah, it's soft locked, as in the nano itself may not have a 215 requirement, but it has a nano deck requirement, and the nano deck requires 215. So you kind of gotcha, you know. Yeah. Oh, a Kiwi, right? Could be interesting. None of my tunes make sense anymore. Yeah, start a froob. Go back to the basics. Go back to running around the little, you know, low level dungeons and stuff, and relearn that way. That's definitely the best way to go. Yeah. Yeah, so they tried the game and didn't get on with it. I don't know how much time they spent trying to communicate with other players or whatever. If you come into this game and go on a global chat and say, "Hi, I'm new, I'm a bit stuck, I'm not sure what I'm doing," you get a bunch of people willing to jump in and help you. But if you don't do that and don't know to do that, your experience is probably going to be quite negative. So, yeah, I mean, I can't fault them for that. But no, I've heard about the video, haven't watched it. But it's one of those things, if I did watch it, I'd just feel like drawing up about 100 answers to all the points they're making, and then, yeah... I mean, they're like a review channel anyway, aren't they? I always find with a lot of review channels, they're not really that interested in anything they review. I'm not saying that's the case with that person. I'm just saying most of the review channels I watch, they don't really play games. They've got a business reviewing games. You know? And that's fine, you know, YouTube algorithm loves that more than it loves people actually playing games. Yeah, the fun of the game is playing it with other people and learning. That's certainly not in the manual. Yeah, I've not seen the video, I've not seen the feedback, I've not commented on it, or, you know. Yeah, you're going to get people that go, "You're wrong," simply because they don't agree with someone's point of view. But if their thing is, it's really hard to get into, well, they're not wrong. You know. Make fun of it. Yeah, well, that's the shtick for review channels, isn't it? You know, they've got to make... They've got to throw a few zingers out there for the algorithm and everything else. And I get it. I mean, I don't do that. I don't give a toss if I don't make a penny on YouTube. I really don't. It is what it is kind of thing, you know? I make the content because I love the game and I want people to know that it's, you know, an interesting and fun game to play. Yeah, I've not seen the review, and I don't think I can bring anything to the table for it. What am I going to do? Make a long-winded comment, like I tried to explain things to the Death of the Game channel, who every video just follows the same format for any game. They talk, you know, they skate over the history from Wikipedia. Talk about, oh, it doesn't have that many players anymore. Well, no, it's old. You know, a lot of those people now have mortgages and children and whatnot. You know, but they never make mention of that. And so on and so forth. So it's kind of, oh, another one? Oh, right, okay. You know. Yeah, okay, so he plays games to, yeah, you know, every channel's got its own kind of a thing if they're taking it seriously. I don't take it seriously, never have. The only thing I took seriously is tutorials. I just made sure that the information in the tutorials was relevant, useful, etc. You know, beyond that, didn't really care, you know, about views or anything else. I kind of toyed with the idea of maybe you could make it into something. You could, but you couldn't do it with AO. You'd have to do what other people do, which play lots and lots of different games. And there's lots and lots of different games that I just don't like. So it would feel very disingenuous. Oh, I just cancelled the buff. I don't know what it was. Great. Well, we're not using the bow, so okay, no loss to not be using that. He re-downloaded the game because he gave me the HDR. Was he playing on the vanilla engine as well? He commented on the graphics. It's 20 years old, mate. Someone farming. Recruit you. And then you can loot straight away. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the channel. I know it's popular and whatnot. But I always find this with people that are new to the game and try and review it. It's like, yeah, okay, we get it that you don't know how anything works. But if you're doing like a kind of review video a week or something like that, then you can't spend much more than a week getting to know a game, so you can't really get that deep into a game unless the game itself is in fact superficial. Anarchy is anything but that. So if you've if you don't allocate 6 months to figuring the game out, you're not going to be able to come up with a review that really reflects the game, and that's the fault of the game, you know. Yeah, the 3D graphics, it won awards for the graphics. It won awards for the sound design. It was one of the first games where the sound of your footsteps changed depending on what surface you were running on. Every environment type had its own background sound and music, and you know, it won awards. It's like me trying Star Citizen. I tried it for a few hours and went, I'm never going to play this again. It's horrible. You know, yeah, I really didn't get much done or get into it. Just, you know, that's only my opinion, man. You know. Yeah, MMO games, AO, EVE Online, probably Star Citizen, and well, that you can't get into that game in 5 minutes. You can't get into it in 5 days. You can't get into it in 5 weeks. You know, and if you've got an upload cycle to satisfy, then yeah, you're just not going to be able to do it. So you like the music and the vibe, yeah, because that's instantly apparent versus you know, the complexity of the game, twinking, how important that is, how much fun that can be, twinking things on. If they'd have been taken under somebody's wing and shown, oh, at levels, you know, by level 60 you can have all this gear on if you know what you're doing, and walk around and have a real kind of like power trip, they might have thought, wow, no other game lets you do this, and been able to review it in that way. But, you know, they're not going to be able to do that if they don't speak to other people or invest the amount of time it takes to get to that point. And I don't blame them for not investing it, because they're not looking for a game. They're looking to make a video. Yeah, breathing in penumbra. Yeah. It wasn't until a mod for Skyrim that we got that. Even Skyrim didn't have your breath turning into, you know, puffs of steam or whatever in snowy mountains and stuff in the vanilla game, but it does with the mod. It's really funny because if you install the mod, it gives it to anything that breathes. So any NPC character or monster, whatever, that has that would be breathing. So in other words, would pop up on detect life. Does the poof every few seconds as though it's actually breathing. But if you sprint on a horse, the puff of smoke comes out the back of the horse. It's just like the horse is running around farting everywhere. It's really funny. Is there yeah, this is I'm on the beta engine, which has, you can probably tell, has the much better dynamic shadows and stuff, and better lighting. The vanilla game doesn't have that. Elgear, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so I'm not gonna wage war against someone that's just trying to make videos about a game and giving their first impressions. It's fine, you know. I mean, that's their impression of the game. It would take me several hours to explain everything I know. Well, no, it would take me several months to explain everything I know about the game, which is kind of sad, really. On why this works that way, why you need to interact with other people, you know, what the synergy is with different team builds, and, you know, there's so much to get into that you can't expect someone to skim the game for a week and form a deep and understanding of it. You just can't, you know, so I'm not going to have a go at the guy. You know, next week I'll have a review video out for something completely different, you know. Everyone will move on, and there you go. Do things like the mission roller work? Apparently they do. Like ClickSaver and the like. I don't use those plugins, but apparently, yeah, they work. Yeah, if you want to know how the game works, then you pretty much need to watch the entirety of a Let's Build series on my channel. If you want to see it in, you know, in video format, you need to do something like that. And who's going to invest that amount of time just to learn about a game? You know, here's 200 hours worth of video on one class using a certain setup. And all the things you can do with that character. You need to watch the entirety of this. You're interested in a different playstyle? Okay, here's the next one. Here's a shade. Here's a enforcer. Here's a doctor. You know, and all the ones I've done. But that equates to 2,000 videos. You know, so who the hell's going to do that? You know. I think you did, but it would take a month. Yeah, exactly. I can't explain something that complex in a condensed 20 to 45 minute video. I can't. You know, there's too much information. Oh, God. There's too much information to go through. There just is. There's just too much information to go through for me to possibly, you know, go explain it all in a single video. The video's going to be, oh my God. Yeah, the new Jason A. Yeah, this is the new engine. I've made videos about the difference between this and the old one, in quite a few videos, and. Excuse me, it's quite a stark difference if you have both. I do use a couple of I use one plugin most of the time, which is just a better form of anti-aliasing rather than FXAA, and sometimes I'll use a ray tracing mod because it has ambient occlusion, but it does glitch a lot. You know, it doesn't quite work like you think it might, so yeah. Yeah, I can show you the difference. Okay, let's stand about here. I don't want to do that. If I fire up the vanilla client, wherever that is. No, that's test live. That's no good. Oh my God. Tidy your desktop, Kalos. I might. Yeah, there we go. So this is the vanilla engine. This is the small you know, less than 4 gigabyte engine. Well, Malicious, back in a bit. Have to go pick up my wife. Cool. Right, okay. And even this is slightly modded in that I run it in DX11 with a wrapper in high resolution. Oh, I picked a character that's not there. Let's go back to Rubicar. Wondering I don't... Yeah, because I live stream the stream. Yeah, I've got 2 choices. I can record the footage and upload it, then it would appear in videos. Or I can stream at 1440p, 60, you know, at 50 megabyte a second directly to YouTube, and the video's there when I finish streaming. And it's a better quality video than transferring anything across from Twitch, which is at 8 megabyte a second. So the best way to do it for me is to do that. Plus I can use standard OBS for that and not have you know, all the plugins and whatnot, and banners and camera, you know, because that isn't on any of my other stuff. Right, so this is the vanilla engine, and then the beta engine. Thanks for the team with my Froob agent. Oh, was that you? Nice. Yeah, so you can see the difference in lighting, I think, is the biggest difference. So vanilla and beta. The textures are the same, so a lot of people go, it looks the same. Well, look beyond just textures, and look at, you know, the grass. Okay, there's grass and such in vanilla, and there's the same grass in the beta. You know, they are quite different. Yeah, it does. The vanilla engine doesn't have a lot of anything. It's far more stable though. The vanilla engine, much more stable, and is not going to tax any system. It's just not. Versus the beta engine looks a bit more modern. I mean, it's DX9. It's not going to, you know, win awards or anything, but you know, it is quite a big difference. Yeah, it's the lighting. The textures are effectively the same. So it is what it is. No, we'll park him there. Go back to that. Yeah, I just like the new engine. I just think it looks nicer. I like it more. So I play on it, but it is not as stable. No two ways about that. It's just not as stable. It will crash in lots of places, and it will crash randomly, which isn't great. So for like big important raids where you cannot crash or you'll be locked out of the raid, I would advise using the vanilla engine. Not going to have ray tracing on DX9 engine. Well, you can via a plugin. You're looking at it right now. So RTGI, I have it quite low because it bugs out. It thinks the GUI is a light source. But you can see here, see the light coming out of the wall and bouncing there. I can turn that on and off. And kind of the same for the little light there. So if I turn it off and heal myself, okay, kind of what we used to. If I turn it on, stand a bit closer to the wall and heal myself. Yeah, it doesn't really show that much. But if I up the race step amount, it's possible with a plugin, but it's RTGI. It's not true ray tracing like you get in modern games. Is there any development on the new engine? They spoke of one many years ago. It's gone through 4 iterations. The game has been 100% abandoned for literal years, except for 3 new dungeons, which I think were probably on the pipeline anyway. So we got Pyramid of Home opened, and then that was 2016. The year after, they said the game was on maintenance mode, but we then got Temple of the Three Winds, high-level dungeon, and we got the Subway high-level dungeon with a ton of stuff. But my guess is that was already going to happen anyway, but I don't expect any future things like that happening, to be honest. Where do I take the Tree of Life thing? Do you have Savik's map of Rubicar? And if not, why not? Where's Temple? Oh, God. No. I can never find anywhere on the map like this. I'm useless. No, that goes to Sentinels. Meet me there. That's Newland. Where's Tyr? There's Tyr. Yeah, see there. So if if I zoom in and try and do the same again. Oh God, where's Tyr gone? Yeah, there's a nomad you take them to. Oh God, it's even harder in black and white. I know where I am if I'm in that zone when I zoom in, but trying to think of where goes where, I'm kind of useless at. Oh my God. You know what? Let's just go to Tyr. I can show you from there a lot easier. The Inner Sanctum was the initial high-level version. Yeah, that came out a long time ago, Inner Sanctum. But yeah. Inner Sanctum was the noughties? Yeah, there's the raid version. Right, okay, so let's open the map here. Right, so Hermit is there. So I'll zoom out. So Smoke Vent Park, you've got to go all the way around the back and then in. It's got like an invisible wall up to the skybox inside a crater. So there's Temple. Run or fly all the way to here. And then from there, that's Temple there. The Hermit is in there, and you speak to the Hermit and say, oh, I've picked up these books, yada, yada, yada. And the Hermit turns them into the MA attack. Somewhere ranting about... myself, Savik and Mahalik thought if there were going to be another high-level dungeon, the logical choice would be Foreman's, and we discussed that would be the logical choice over Smuggler's Den. People picked that up and ran with that discussion about what should they do next, and started saying they're going to do that next, and it was like, oh my God, that's not what we were saying. We were saying the next logical dungeon to do for high level would be, so you've got to be careful what you say. But yeah, I'm getting another beer anyway. Oh, I just noticed. You feel the core of your being shift as the source makes room for a divine presence. Pet toucher. Rude. Has reached enlightenment. Congratulations, and you feel the core of your being shift as the source makes room for a divine presence. Dr. Chow has reached enlightenment. Well, good. Congratulations to both of you. Is there a high-level tree of enlightenment in the wreck called the wisdom of... There's a higher level one, and then the high-level Temple of the Three Winds also has a updated version of it as well, which apparently is really, really good. I don't know beyond that. Has Savick really gone from AO? I don't think so. They're not playing at the moment, but Savick has played since, like me, she's played since the beginning of the game, more or less. So, at the moment she's choosing not to play. She left the Discord server more than a year ago, and myself as well. It just, after ARC was kind of unceremoniously disbanded and scrapped. There was just literally no moderation on that Discord, and it just turned into so I just left as well. Yeah, we all think that would have been the next logical step, and it could have been made quite easily because it's already segregated. When it first came out, you could enter and run without stopping at any point, all the way down to the boss, without any interruption. And then they introduced gates to make you zone from one place to the next in there, although you can kind of bypass them still if you know where the broken geometry is, and people do, and I do it anyway. There's nothing wrong with that. And it just made, the discussion we had, it made sense that would be the next place to create a high-level version of, but I don't think it is going to happen, because I think if it wasn't developed or in the pipeline before 2017, there's no possibility of it happening now, Right, what was I doing? Let's go and get talk to the warden. Right, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Hermit is the same one you go to for the Temple of the Three Winds. Not Temple of the Three Winds, the Inner Sanctum ones as well. I think you take the books to her. I'm not positive. Check on AO Universe. They'll have the correct information there. Yeah, I'm going to turn RTGI off. Had to go back to the old engine after 5 years. New engine, it kind of hurt, but with some optimizations, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, if it became they did some update and it became impossible to play for more than 2 minutes without crashing, I'd reluctantly have to go back to the old engine as well, But I could. I mean, God, I didn't play the beta engine any sooner than anyone else. Well, I did play it sooner than anyone else. I was in the beta for it, but the old videos of that engine, it's been, I think, up to now, as far as I can count, I could be wrong, it's been 4 separate projects for a new engine. One of the videos that was on the official site and on YouTube has now been made private, or has been taken down, because it showed the new engine, but it wasn't the new engine we have. So they had to take that down. Because obviously they could be accused of false advertising with that video. I still have a copy of the video, because I was so, we're going to get a new video. Give me a second to find it. I'll quickly show you why they've probably removed it. Oh my god. Trying to think, where the hell did I put that? Oh no. I have it somewhere. I'm just looking through a bunch of old clips and bits and whatever. Here, give me a sec. I gotta remember whatever the hell folder I put it in. I'm just looking now. Yeah, the old, if you remember, there was a couple of videos and they had reflective, water and stuff, like screen space reflections on water. We don't have that with the beta engine, but at one time, one of the game engines they were thinking of using or were working on did have it. So you can't put that out as, hey, you know, look at what you're going to get, when you're not actually going to get that, you know. Oh god, if I can find it in the next 30 seconds I'll show you, and if I can't, then I can't find it. But the video itself has now gone, unfortunately. Yeah, back when downloading something from YouTube was really, really simple. And it wasn't like a real, like, I downloaded it so I would always have it or something like that. And I thought I'll possibly use it in the future, you know, if they ever release the new engine. And then we got the new engine. I went, this ain't that same game engine. So I understand why they thought, uh-oh, we're going to have to take that down. It ain't what we're shipping, you know. Oh my god, I've got so much crap on my drive. Yeah, I can't see it. I know I've got it somewhere. A medium, did you? No, I didn't see it. A medium larger content creator on YouTube, a review of AO like 7 years ago, titled worst MMO ever. No, I've never seen it. Oh, 7 days ago. Yeah, I've not seen it. I'm never going to see it. Why would I watch that? I don't, you know, I don't agree with their opinion, but I understand why they have that opinion. You know, we did speak about it earlier, but the long and short of it is they're a content creator. So how long do they actually get with a game in order to make that content? Answer, probably maximum of 2 weeks. And probably not a dedicated 2 weeks. They're probably doing other stuff in between, other game footage and whatnot, and then writing, scripting everything. So they're running to their, you know, a self-enforced schedule. So unsurprisingly, a game that is impenetrable as AO is in that period of time, they formed a somewhat negative opinion of it. Fine. But that's not what the game is, and I'm not going to waste time arguing with them about it, because it would take me like 6 months to teach them what I know about the game so they could see it from my point of view. And they're not going to do that, because in that 6 months they've got, you know, whatever, 24 other games to get through, you know. And that's fine, you know, I don't mind that. If they didn't like it with the surface look of it, 16 hours, ended up at level 16. Yeah, I can do level 16 in about 30 minutes. But that's the difference between knowing how the game works and not knowing how the game works. Yeah, I'm not going to give the guy any shit about it. I understand why they've arrived at the opinion they have. And, you know, other than saying, unless you do put the time in 16 hours is not going to allow an above average intelligence person with a quick learning curve, so 2 characteristics there, even with that, you're still not going to know what you're doing in that period of time. Please post the reply. No, why? Why do that? They're not going to invest the time and form a different opinion. That's not going to happen. Okay, they're going to go to the next game, move on. They've done a follow-up video because, hey, this video got lots of comments. That's good for the algorithm. I'll do a follow-up video. I get it. I know how the game works. I just don't play the game. You know, the YouTube game. I don't care. I'm not interested in becoming a content creator. Not really. I don't want to listen to someone that doesn't have enough information about Anarchy Online to form an opinion. You know, so how can I put this right? I've never driven a car before in my life. I bought a new car. I looked at the manual, and the car keeps crashing. It's a terrible car. No, mate, you just don't know how to drive. Okay, I'm not going to then teach that person to drive in 5 sentences to explain, no, the car is fine. It's simply that you don't have the information available to you to understand why the car keeps crashing. The answer is you haven't learned how to drive. To draw an analogy, you know? You know, I'm not going to have a go at the guy. I get their position. I don't share that position. AO was made in a time when games were made to be good games, not when games were built to be a slot machine. Biggest thing he mentions, I would argue, modern games charge the same price for so much less. They have no depth, no complexity, no satisfaction from mastering the skill and progression systems in the game. Require one button wow. Yeah, so why are they charging for a game that you can play with one finger the same price as a deep and complex game like AO, which is, you know, ultimately very satisfying to play once you know what you're doing with it? I hear this same, it's 25 years old, it should be free to play. Why? Why should it be free? It's still the same quality product. Bread was whatever price it was in 2001. It's still effing bread today. Yes, there's other breads available. They're full of sugar and they're crap. No thanks, I'll quite happily keep paying for the bread. I think it's incredulous that subscription services to modern games think that their subscription is worth that game. I argue the exact opposite. A will give you a game that was built to be a good game and to be satisfying and interesting to the person playing it, versus something that was created empirically to make money. And you never really learn how to drive a car unless you're home for at least a year. The asshole level is above the start. I'm not having a go at the guy. I understand their position. They're kind of a review stroke, let's poke fun at a game channel, and that's fine. Okay, that's nothing wrong with that. That's entirely valid. Some of my favourite reviews are scathing and funny. What's it? Up is not jump does. Skyrim VR is a nightmare. And it's one of the funniest videos you've ever seen in your life if you've played Skyrim. But they do at least understand the game. And they're self-deprecating in that review. And that's why it works. And they don't get hate from, the Skyrim fan base. because the Skyrim fan base is going, yeah, I've had that bug as well. You know, AO is not maintained in many ways. Yeah, dude, thank you. I mean, I think you probably got that kill because Carlo gave it a slapping. You come back with my mobs! Yeah, I'm not allowed to loot the remote. Dude, get your pets under control. I know what it's like. Carlo is a beast. He will kill everything in sight. Yeah. AO is not maintained. It's in maintenance mode, implying maintenance. In other words, they keep the servers working. And it's the same content we've always had. So everyone has to make that decision for themselves, don't they? If I didn't think it was worth the money every month to play, I would not play it. It's very simple. If I didn't want, if I thought, oh, this is not a good deal, I don't enter into the deal. You know, is why I've never done paid mods. I don't own a single paid mod. I never will. You know, so if I play a Bethesda game, I will, you know, download mods from Nexus or wherever. But I am not paying the money they're asking for a mod. Because the monetary deal, you know, the transactional value isn't there. And the reason for that is, example, a game many people have played, so they'll get it, Skyrim. And there's a mod for Skyrim. Here's a new armor set and 3 weapon types to go with that armor set. So here's a bow, here's a dagger, here's a mace, here's a short sword, here's a long sword. Okay? And it's $5 for this mod. Oh, come on, it's only $5. Okay. That's $5 for 4 weapons and 1 suit of armor. Okay, so you paid $60 for Skyrim. How many weapons and armors are there in the game? Hundreds, right? And how many other bits and pieces are in the game? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So effectively you end up with, well, that $5 means the game in its original state, if that's a fair price, then that would have cost in order of thousands of dollars to buy the game if you're going to price it the same way as your paid mod. Therefore, that's a crap deal. I'm not paying for the mod. Yeah, like the Fallout London mod, Fallon, right, is a better Fallout game, in my opinion, than Fallout 4 is. And it's a mod for Fallout 4. Inverted commas mod. It's a whole new game built on Fallout 4. And it's a better Fallout game than Fallout 4 is. There you go. I said it. But I stand by that. I've played it, and it has a better story, characters, and everything else than Fallout 4 does. And it's free, if you own Fallout 4. It's not free if you don't, because you need Fallout 4 to play it. Yeah, I mean, Funcom are one of those companies where their focus is always forward-looking. So, after AO, what came out after AO? Was it Secret World? Something like that? And Secret World was getting all the attention and love, and AO felt very much like it was on the back burner. And Secret World with it kind of the love child, and it was all that kind of back and forth and whatnot. Conan, it could have been Conan Unchained. I never played any of the Conan games, they didn't interest me. Do I like the Conan books and movies? Yeah, they're great. But it's like the Matrix games. Everyone wants to be effing Neo, and we can't all be bloody Neo. So, you know, someone's got to be a healer. You know what I mean? So those games, they kind of like, yes, you've got the IP, The problem is everybody's running around in a loincloth with a big sword and a headband, trying to be the titular, what's the word? Yeah, they're trying to be the main character, and you can't all be the main character. AO doesn't do that. AO says you're a cog in the machine, or you're fighting against the machine, or you're trying to sort of play both sides and you're neutral, you know, and every grey area variation of that. That's your world space. That's who your character is, and go have fun with that. That's AO. We can't all be Philip Ross and so on and you know, and all that, yeah? I paid for a lifetime on the secret world and it's dead. Yeah, I wish if they could have, maybe they could have done that. Maybe they could have offered, hey, lifetime subscription to AO for this much. I would have seriously considered it. Yeah, so the value per cost in gaming is often discussed, but not very realistically, I think. So, like I say, paid mods. Is your mod with a single mission with 4 stages worth $5 to $10? We go, it's only $5 to $10. Yeah, but the whole game, with its thousands of quests and dialogue and whatnot, was $60, and you're now asking $5 for less than 1% of that. So I don't see the value. Okay? The best way to play Fallout London is go to GOG, the guys who brought us Witcher 3, etc., and Cyberpunk. So awesome people, awesome games. Replayable games as well, and buy for like $5 Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition, and then install Fallon on top of it, because you're going to need to use GOG to install Fallon anyway. But if you do that, you don't need to get rid of all the bullshit Creation Club stuff that Bethesda added to Fallout 4 just before the Fallon release. I can't help, you know, the cynic in me thinks maybe Bethesda did that to scupper the release. I think they knew internally, maybe some of their devs or some people on the team had tried Fallon and went, they've made a better game than we did. We need to scupper these guys, but not be seen to be scuppering them. Hey, how about we update Fallout 4 with a bunch of bullshit no one wants, and then they've got to jump through hoops to get Fallon to run. Hey, good plan. It looks like we're doing something positive, but actually we're scuppering them. I can't help myself being that cynical to think that's probably part of it. People have said the same about Skyblivion and its imminent release versus Oblivion Remastered. And in that instance, I'd say no. I think they've probably been working on that remaster for a long time, having played it. I think there's a lot more time invested into that than just clicking a switch and adding a bunch of creation content bullshit onto Fallout 4. I mean, the Fallout 4 vanilla game, one of the best mods you can add to it is Sim Settlements, which utterly expands the game in so many brilliant ways. It kind of makes you feel like this is what the settlement building should have been within the game. It adds so many mechanics. It also adds storyline and characters to flesh it out. So you don't just go, right, here's 4 beds out exposed in the rain, a generator, a water fountain, and a tomato plant. I'm off, see you later. You know, kind of settlement building. It turns it into literal Sim City kind of settlement building, but with a storyline and characters that are voiced and everything else to it. Sim Settlements and Sim Settlements 2 is incredibly amazing mod. That mod is easily worth charging money for because of how much they add to the game. That would easily be a DLC if Bethesda had created it, but they didn't. And it's free. Just watch the... yeah, we keep coming back to it. Yeah, I agree with you, Mahalik. I'm not going to give the guy any shit for it. You know, you buy a new car, it comes with a manual, and you keep crashing it. That's where they find themselves. Yeah, I'm just not getting involved. I've said my piece on it several times. You know, what else? You know. Yeah, it has always been the community that have lifted players up, but it's a multiplayer game, so by definition it is a community-led game, you know. It looks like your last Let's Build a Tune was a few years ago. I'm playing a new tune now, mate. We're in the midst of Let's Build a Tune. I just don't have the time to spend 7-8 hours a day making videos. Yeah, all the information you need to have a successful time playing AO is on my channel, you know. It wouldn't solve the problem, no. The onboarding isn't there because originally games were made to be learned, not to get you to end game and the money shop as fast as possible. That's how new games are made. They're made to get you into the cash shop for extra revenue as fast as possible. That's the design, and people have unfortunately become accustomed to that. So when a game is impenetrable and requires effort to learn, people are like, it's broken. Why aren't I max level with all the best gear yet in 5 minutes? And it's very easy for people that didn't play games 15 years ago to fall into that trap because all games seem to be like that now. When is the next update coming? For what, AO? Probably never. I think we're on technically Let's Build 15 at this point. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of... I've done every class. So... And then since 2020... What have I made since 2020? We did a dock. No, we did a keeper, a dock. Then we did an MA engineer. We did an Atrox shade. Then we did an agent... and now, so technically we're on Let's Build 15, and this is, was going to be a bow MA, but bow kind of sucks until, yeah, because the thing is I can make, all I have to do is play the game and leave the raw footage there versus, see, the process for making a video is much, much longer than streaming, okay, so with making a video, you play for maybe 4 hours, you edit that and condense it down to 45 minutes. Is the Trash King still around? Yeah, unless someone just recently killed him, he'll respawn in, what, 30 minutes or something? But that quest, the shoulder pads, yeah, it's all still there. And then you finish doing all the editing. The editing takes about 3 hours, depending how good you are or fluent you are at it. And for me, I got to the point where I could edit a video really, really quite quickly. So it would take, you know, maybe 2 hours to do that, and to my satisfaction. Then you got to render it, which means you can't really do much else with your computer because it's getting hammered by rendering. So the computer's then locked up and you can't do anything else with it for about another 3 hours. Maybe not on this system, because this is my much more updated system. It's a lot better. And then you've got to upload it. And on my old connection, that would take at least 2 hours. So then YouTube gets the video, and it can take 24 hours before that video's at full resolution before you can publish it. So you've spent 12 hours end to end to make one episode, you know, and I simply don't have that time available to me anymore. I work for other people now. I used to work for myself so I could do stuff in between fixing amplifiers and guitars and other electronic equipment. But I can't do that anymore because, you know, I work for other people. They pay me to work for them. They pay me very, very well for the time I give them. And I enjoy the work. So my time with them is limited. And, you know, we've then got children, grandchildren, etc. You know, there's not enough hours. And I need 50-hour days, right? And then we're fine. I can go back to making videos again. Right, I'm getting another beer. I know, I think AO is specifically bad at this. There's not much of a tutorial in any old game because old games are designed around the idea that you're going to put in the effort to figure it out. Which does make sense. Which it's very hard to review something that old in gaming. And I think the main reason for that is that it's difficult to judge history through the glasses of the modern age. It's difficult to do that. And with something like gaming, the industry has changed so dramatically in how it's structured and how it works over the last quarter of a century that it's really difficult for a modern reviewer to look at something from 25 years ago and say they got all this wrong from today's point of view. Okay, so we had thorough tutorials to AO. How do we do that? How do we do it? It is a massive, massive undertaking to do because there's so much to know. You know, I couldn't, the only thing I could do is what I could do, which is make some smart-ass videos explaining what I was doing and why I was doing it. So if you wanted to know how to play an NT, how things work, how nanos interact, what the synergy is, etc., then watch Let's Build Another Tune, which technically is Let's Build a Tune Series 2. Veteran playthrough for Shade technically is the first Let's Build a Tune but I've since deleted that character because I already had at 205. I deleted that character, but I deleted that character because I already had a shade that was up effect, so I deleted them just so I could make another character and make another video series, whichever one it was after that. The SL start. Yeah, you could argue that, and I wouldn't disagree with you there, Mihalik. I think the Noob Island and Shadowlands startup area were better than a REIT. But modern MMOs are designed to get you to max level as fast as possible and then let you fail and point you to the cash shop to solve the issue. That's how they're made. That's what corporate wants, and that's what corporate gets. So when they make complex, deeply layered games like Anarchy Online, the idea was to make the game good and let the players figure it out between themselves. Their attitude was, players are smart, they'll figure it out. Yeah, and the information's more accessible on newer games as well, because the Google search algorithm and other search engine algorithms go, here's 50 gazillion sites farming clicks for how to do X, Y, or Z in this massively popular game. Whereas with Anarchy Online, you have to prefix every search with the words Anarchy Online to get anything like a relevant result. So it's kind of like, it's a bizarre position to find yourself in. Act2 Ellie is now following. Thank you for the follow. Yeah. Check posture. I am stood extremely straight. Yes, I am. I'll stretch. Yeah, probably was slouching. I don't care. Getting sadder. Have a good night. Well, have a good night yourself. Dad's RC hanger. Has anyone figured out who that is yet? Have you figured out who that is yet? I'm not going to tell you. You guys are going to have to figure that out. They are someone you know from AO, but they have their own RC channel. If you're watching Twitch and this stream, you just got a massive clue. But yeah, there you go. So we've got a new level. We've done that. We cleared the flag. Is that Freelancers Inc? One normal daily. Oh, have I not handed in the Elite daily yet? Can I have my reward now? There we go. All new MMOs have to compete. This is a binary way of thinking. No, they don't. They just have to offer something people want. People like variety. People like choice. You don't necessarily have to win at every fucking thing, right, to be successful. You just have to win at what you set out to achieve to be successful. So if you take it like that, it's like the fast food restaurants, right? The food is all basically the same quality, not great. So they're constantly trying to outdo each other with deals and whatever, and that invokes costs, and the costs are then reflected in the quality of the food anyway. So you're getting better and better deals, apparently, but actually the food's getting crapper and crapper and crapper in terms of nutrition. And the issue is, Do you remember the movie Demolition Man? He says, well, after the corporate wars, Taco Bell now own every restaurant, so all restaurants are Taco Bell. That would be a nightmare. That's nightmare fuel for most people. They're like, no, maybe I want Taco Bell tonight. Maybe I want a pizza tomorrow, you know? You never did a condensed tutorial video. People will not watch a 78-hour video. Yeah, it's not my job, and also, I'm fallible. I would miss things. I would forget to mention things. It would be incomplete. It would need reiterations. It would take a couple of years to make and still wouldn't be good enough. So you can actually cover all that plus leveling with some editing in less than 1 hour. Well, go do it then. Because I tell you what, it's not in my capability to do so. Listen, you can teach everything about playing the guitar to someone and make it a 1 hour video. No, you can't. You can mention everything, but the person trying to absorb the information will not walk away with the information. It's like, why doesn't a car manual explain how to drive in every situation for every eventuality in that vehicle? It can't be done. It'd be a stack of books this high and it still wouldn't cover every eventuality. You know. It's one of them, really. What is the most player active content of modern time? I don't know what that means. Do you remember the back door to the subway? I don't remember a back door to the subway. I remember a back door to Smuggler's Den, which became the official entrance. Because rather than fix it, Funcom just said, you know what? It's now a door. We fixed it. It's not a problem anymore because we've decided that that's actually a door to get in. Just because you think you can box doesn't mean you can get in the ring with Ali. Yeah, so you buy a car, right? You buy a car. Car comes with a manual. Here's what the ignition does. Here's how the radio works. Here's where your indicators are. This is what your pedals do. You can check your oil here. Yada, yada, yada. And it explains a lot of the basics about the car, how to operate it, etc., etc. Does it teach you to drive? No, it does not. Not even close to teaching you to drive. I mean, you go for driving lessons, they teach you to pass a driving test. They don't teach you how to drive unless you're really lucky and you get a great instructor like I had, who actually was my father and trained officers to drive in the armed forces when he did his national service. So when he taught me to drive in exactly the same way the armed forces teach you to drive. And so when I went for my test, I was a more adequate and aware driver than probably anyone the guy had been testing for years. It was funny. He even commented on it. How you clearly can drive. How long have you been driving? And I had to explain how I'd learned. And he just went, you've passed. Off you go. And I then learned to drive after that, in my opinion. You know. Need to fly, Carl. Shall we have some fun on Sunday? Oh, we could do, yeah. Lordless Heathen, greetings. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so in the old days, Stuart, Right, I'll show you what I remember, but, you know, memory is fallible. Memory is fallible. So let's go to Borealis. So the official entrance for Smuggler's Den is out in Dixie, isn't it? It's at the bottom of Southern Fowl Hills or something. But there was a bug. See, was always an exit, right? This was an exit. But if you were in not a physical vehicle, so you couldn't use a physical Yalm for this, okay? But if you got turned into a parrot or had quantum wings or similar, you could get in via this door. It was a bug. It let you go in. And Funcom's way to deal with that, rather than taking away the fact that you could, you know, use a glitch like that, was to go, okay, new door. Like, we're not going to fix it. We're just going to take away the bug to the point where you can just walk in any status and just walk in and enter the dungeon from here. That's what I remember. I do remember that the subway had multiple entrances, and you could enter the subway from different regions, and you would enter the subway in different places. I remember that because I beta tested the subway on the test server right before it went live. So in Old Athen, you could get into the subway from here, but you wouldn't spawn where you spawn from the current one. But you did if you did it from Tyr. But if you did it from West Athen, you spawned somewhere slightly different, etc. And I really loved that. It felt, yeah, it's a subway. So I'm miles away. You know, if you look at the planet map and go, we're going to do that and zoom out. So I'm in West Athen here. If I enter the subway, I land in whichever room, right? But if I'm in Tyr, over here, I enter from the main entrance and so on and so forth. I much preferred that. And then for whatever reason, I don't know the whys, but Funcom decided that there would only be one entrance and it would be an ICC, and everybody went to the same start location. In fact, I think they made it so all of these went to the same start location at some point. I know why they made that a door, but I can't say. DNA. NDA, even. I can't. NDA. They went round your house with a black light and went, yeah, no. Sorry. That's a foul thing to say. I can't say they've got me on DNA. For any younger viewers, don't ask. I gotta go. Speak to you later. Yeah, hit me up tomorrow and tell me what you've got in mind. I mean, what should I make as a noob? Make an MA, because it's simple. Are you playing Froob? If you're playing Froob, noob, then yeah, MA. Otherwise, make a keeper. It is a nice, easy character to sort of get started with. I screw up on not discovering that being told by someone. Yeah, you know what's happened. You know, someone's flying around in quantum wings or parrot and accidentally hit that door, thinking it's their mission entrance, and gone, oh my god, I'm in the subway. And then they get out and try it again and go, oh my god, I've found a secret door to, not the subway, to Smuggler's Den. And then they talk to someone who tells 10 other people who all tell 10 other people. Next thing you know, the whole server knows there's a back door to Smuggler's Den. It gets picked up by Ark and the GMs we had then, and they go, okay, is it an exploit? Do we need to ban people? And then the powers that be that went, you know what? Let's just make it a door. Oh, dear. Beer of choice this evening is, well, if I can't mention the name of the beer, because that's advertising. But it's available in supermarkets and sounds like my name with ing on the end. There you go. It's a generic, like 4% beer, which is great for just chilling for an evening, because you can drink, you know, quite a lot of it and still be fine the next day because it's not that strong. If you upgrade the account, your MA will immediately become better, but if you upgrade a Froob account to a paid account, you cannot go back to being a free account. Okay, so if you make a Froob MA and then go, oh, I'm gonna upgrade the account to a paid account to get all the extra expansions and stuff, you will be a lot more powerful, have access to far more gear, items, nanos, and so on and so forth. Plus, you'll get the perk system, you'll get the research system to play with and all the rest of it. However, you can't go back to how it was. That's the downside. I made a video about paid v Froob, and it was MA based. Yeah, there we go. It's quite an old one, but it's still valid. So I made a Froob MA and then made a paid MA, leveled them up to the same level and did a side-by-side of what they could or couldn't do. That was a while ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. But yeah.
Hi all, and welcome to the video. In this one, something's changed.
I won't get copyright strike for the music, because it's my bloody music. I'm playing it and everything.
A little bit of catching up to do, there's a big clue. Can't get one of those on a Froob. It doesn't do a lot, but yeah, I just did it for the XP.
You actually sound younger. I am younger.
So, he's a little bit behind.
You made that music? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, these are not props. These are actual things that I can play. Guitars. I am a musician, yeah. I've played in all kinds of bands over the years. Nice gem. Yeah, that's one of them. This one is probably older than most of you guys. This is a 1989 gem floral. It's extremely road worn, as in I've played it to death. It's done thousands of gigs, and it looks like it. But it's still an amazing instrument. According to the beard, you also played with ZZ Top. I cannot deny or confirm such accusations. 89, back when Vi... I don't think Vi's ever left his groove. I think Vi found his groove and he's just been in it ever since. I think he kind of exploded with... I mean, he was in the Zappa band, which is where I discovered him. But then he left that and he was in Alcatraz to replace Euigny Malmsteen. Following that, he was in the Dave Lee Roth band, and I think I love the stuff he did with Dave Lee Roth, you know, like Skyscraper and all those tracks, and the performance, well, like incredible, but they are of that time, very much of that time. You know, they're all in their 60s and 70s now. They can't do that crap on stage anymore, or without a nurse and a crash team waiting in the wings for various injuries and resuscitation. So yeah. Oh, Shelby Info. Oh my God, I missed you coming into the stream. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Welcome on in. We're in mid-discussion, and once I go on one, you know me, I'm off. Yeah, I saw him live a couple of years ago. Going to head to Twitch, I'm missing something. Yeah, I've got the like a webcam, etc. on Twitch. I don't have it on YouTube for two reasons. One, I can't get Streamlabs OBS and OBS to share a camera. They just won't do it. In fact, you can't share the camera with a ton of stuff. It's a real pain in the butt. And I'm not faffing around with two webcams. And then secondly, the YouTube content I usually make doesn't have like all the banners and kind of paraphernalia you associate with Twitch. So when I stream to YouTube, it's just the game video and a couple of title screens and stuff like that. Yeah, I saw him on the oh God, Something of Light tour in Manchester, and it was just it just floored me how good he is live. You know, just how, yeah, that's so like the record, but he's embellishing what he did on the record. It sounds like the record, you know, orally it sounds the same, but he's playing different things and doing different things with it, and no lesser than what's on the album, you know. There's a face cam on Twitch, LOL, Jason, now over on this side. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, so on Twitch, you kind of expect to see a streamer's face. You kind of expect to see, you know, who's done the latest thing on the banners at the top and, you know, all that kind of malarkey. But on YouTube, a little less so. People like nice, clean, tidy videos just containing the stuff, you know? I do love his Dave Lee Roth era. From that, he then released Passion and Warfare, which was the deal he did. He said, I've been offered this deal by Sony. He went to a lawyer, and the lawyer said, this deal's a load of crap. You're making nothing. They're making all the money. You should set yourself up as a publisher, record the music yourself in your own studio, which is more than adequate, and release it as a publisher and composer. And then just use Sony as the distributor. That way they sell a $10 CD, you get $8, not $1. So he said, yeah, okay, let's do that. So he made millions from Passion and Warfare. And then another album and another album and another album, you know. What other class did you say? Keeper, one of the most indestructible classes and most chill classes to play. I'll give you a reference playthrough video. Okay, so that's the first video for that series. Can I might have to, give me a sec, I'll get you the playlist, which is probably more useful. Oh my God, the way this is not how I set it, and it just keeps doing it, which is so annoying. There's a bunch of Skyrim stuff mixed in, and yeah. You know, because I do play other games. I did an entire Witcher 3 playthrough, Skyrim playthrough, Fallout 4 playthrough, ton of music videos and stuff, gear reviews and whatnot. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so keepers are just so good. There you go. So if I click the link I've just shared, make sure it works. There you go. I'll just show you this quickly now. And of course, it's 1440p, 60 high bit rate.
Territorial space. We are about to dock with the Morningstar space station. Please return to your assigned space. Security locks will be engaged prior to gravity fall.
Like Aussie. What?
Welcome to the Morningstar. In a short while, you will be ferried down to the surface of Ruby Ka, where a new life awaits you. Please proceed through the laboratories and create.
Oh,
the
Shade and
identity you
Keeper
wish
are
to take on.
awesome.
Good luck.
What are you making now? I'm not. You're watching the
Please
Let's Build a
select
Toon
breed
special
and
edition.
gender.
Hi all, and welcome to the video. In this one, it's Let's Build a Toon, Series 8. Now, if you cast your minds back all the way to the beginning of the last Let's Build a Toon series, Series 7, you will remember all the way back then on February the 15th when the playthrough started, when we got to the profession vote, there was some shenanigans. Now, obviously, a great deal of people genuinely voted for Keeper, and we'd got as far as a
Solitus female selected.
thank you game for filling in there. And if I remember rightly,
Appearance.
we had short, I think. Or was it? I think it was medium. And the head was kind of random. She had the thing at the back of her head. We probably wouldn't get that again. Because every time you log into game, you get a different set of faces. Oh, we did get it. It was this one, actually. That one's slightly less silly, but what the hell. And we'd got as far as here.
Please select a profession.
And in the end, because of the way the votes had been cast, and a huge number were all cast within 30 minutes of each other, and I do mean a huge percentage, it presented a problem. However, this is what will be different about this Let's Build. Now, a certain subscriber,
Solitus, if you're going to play anything for the first time, because they're the easiest class to equip implants and gear on, because all their base stats are fairly even versus Up Effects, Nanomage, or Atrox, where there's some big differences which you need to understand more fully going forward. So
sent me a couple of messages, quite genuine ones, about if you ever do a Keeper one, I want to give you these items, and they're a couple of swords and such. You can actually see them give that to me on one of the previous streams. And yes, that particular person, who I shall refer to as Brutal, is starting chemotherapy today. Yes, for real, in real life chemotherapy. And I just want to say, chemotherapy is absolutely no joke. This isn't going into hospital to take cough syrup. No, it isn't. It's extremely grueling and painful. It drains you emotionally and physically. And mentally. It's psychologically hard. It's one of the hardest things you can face in life. You are literally being medically poisoned. It is absolutely as serious as it gets. And because I want to give this person just one little thing more to hang on for, I am giving this Let's Build to them. Shall we begin?
Keeper selected. Please name.
there you go. Yeah, that's a bit heavy. Sorry, everyone. That is quite heavy. I appreciate. But if you watch the rest of it, you will see that keeper's journey, and I absolutely did everything I could to max them out as much as I possibly could in terms of gear and everything else. And they are now probably one of my favourite characters to play. Why the fuck are you guys hanging around in Storm's Hangout? We've been here for 20 years. You bugger off. Get your own spot. No, I'm only joking. You can hang out anywhere you like in Anarchy Online. But yeah, so that keeper now is very different and can, pretty much handle anything the game throws at it. We'll spend the remainder of the stream just playing that keeper. But yeah, that's where it started. So, yeah. But we did a hell of a lot. We did the episodes, we did the streams, etc., etc. There they are. Yeah, Solitus. When you look at your base abilities with Solitus, so if you go here, if you look at your abilities, see they're all this color. Agility, intelligence, they're all like neutral blue. Some of these are green, some of them are cyan, etc. With some of the other breeds, the base abilities are also coloured. How do you get to that screen? What, the one before? Just create new character. Did you ever reuse the sound of the DKP? The DKP? What? Oh, I've come to the wrong exit. Oh, never mind. The DKP. I'm not sure what that is. Adridroma. Is there any actual point to being Solitus? Yeah, you're kind of extreme at nothing but best at everything. So after the advent of research, when you look at what you get for all the various research lines, what they give you, breed became less and less important because you make up the failings of how weak your evades are, how much little HP you've got on, say, Nanomage versus Atrox, becomes a lot less with research. Research made everything much easier to do. The point of Solitus is you're pretty good at everything. And putting in symbionts, which have 3 base ability requirements, is really quite easy. PDKPs, the perfected, don't have the breed lock. It only locks on one stage of the upgrade. It doesn't lock through the entirety of the upgrade. So you can use PDKPs on any breed, but in one stage when you first get them, and I think the second stage when you do the first upgrade, only Atrox can use them. Mihalik, well, except that Atrox is still dumb as bricks. That's unfair. And Nanomage is gimpier than ever. Well, I'm not a fan of Nanomage, I'll be honest, but that's a personal opinion. That doesn't make me correct. The ability colours, press U. U will bring up the basic skills window where every time you level, you can pick where to spend IP in a very, very sandbox kind of way. So you can decide, this character is going to use a melee weapon and they're going to use two-hand edge. No, I've changed my mind. They're going to use martial arts. You can spend into martial arts as opposed to any other skill. The way the color coding works is dark blue, so navy blue like that, costs more IP. So every time you level, you have a certain amount of IP to spend. So say you've got 1,000 IP, for example. Going in one point in here, I can't, because I don't. 14 IP experience isn't enough for a single point of a navy blue skill. You need more. But for a green skill, or this skill, I can... Oh, no. I've spent all the IP on this character, so I can't show you. Next most cheap is natural blue, which is like a regular blue. Cyan is cheaper than that blue, and green is the cheapest of all. So it's 5 per level. It does tell you, so if you click on anything, it tells you here what requirements it is, so how much it will cost to increase. But it also tells you that it has dependencies. See here, strength and agility. So on Solitus, strength and agility are about the same cost as any other stat. With Atrox, strength and stamina are cheap. Intelligence and psychic are dark blue. I think sense is dark blue. Agility is neutral, etc., etc. So your base abilities depend upon your breed, and then your skills depend upon your class. So for me, on a keeper, all my ranged weapons are dark blue. Whereas if I was on an agent, rifle would be green, etc., etc. So easier to increase than a navy blue skill. No, none of this is explained in the tutorial manual for the game, unfortunately. We got a boss. I think we have. No, someone's killed them recently. I can see the calm on that one. Okay. No, green skills are simply cheaper. It doesn't mean they're necessary to the build. So if you go to the second one, which is body and defense. So body dev, that's how many hit points you have. So what HP you have. The evades are how well you evade being hit. And there are calculators for that. And then down here, you've got this slider. On full ag, you're much more open to being hit, although you hit faster. So the ideal scenario is to be able to reach the ratio of 1-to-1 with a given weapon, and still be on full defensive, so you just can't be hit, or you'll be hit much less, you will receive criticals much less, etc., etc. There's an endgame gear setup. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a couple of other things I could probably get, but yeah, if we look at the gear, so they've got an AC/DC, which comes from the Sector 42 raid. They're very hard to get, but they have one. Stellar Nano Deck, which is the combination of a couple of different items, plus the DB quest, again, endgame. They've got the Protective Drone, which gives you a ton of ACs, but also gives you heal reactivity. So keepers have HOTS, okay? They have really good HOTS, in fact. So on this character, this is healing me for 1,300, almost 1,600 hit points every few seconds. It's just ticking away, keeping my health up. But because of the heal reactivity, add another, 10% to that. Then I've got defensive HUDs, which add, nano resist, add all def, which is difficult to explain. Then I've got this, which comes from a high-level dungeon called DB3, which is a protector drone. You can see a ton of huge stats on it. 2,000 to ACs, 32 to weapon skills, stuff like that. The weapon, this is 100% drop rate, but you need the high-level Temple of the Three Winds boss in order to get it. The belt, again, this is a crafted item. You need a ton of different bits and pieces from the alien playfields, but it does give you base stats and stuff, which makes gearing a lot easier. Then NCUs, these are the maximum capacity ones. They do nothing else. They just give maximum capacity. So 102 NCU space. So your NCU is your space to hold buffs on the character. So here's my NCU window. So I've got map, I've got all these buffs. Some are mine, some are from other players, etc. They buff different things. So for example, this one, this is a composite nano. Anyone can use this for any reason they want, and they're cheap. You can get them just via a quest in a REIT, but they do require nano skills to cast. Sensory improvement, psycho mod, which are listed here. Again, you can increase these as and when you wish, but you also get buffs like this, which add 20 to all of those. You can get buffs that add 140 to all those, but only at certain levels from an MP. You know, there's no way I'm going to explain everything about this character in a single stream, or we're going to be here for a week. And then some. And then keepers get ward. Now, ward is another, it works like a hot, as in it auto recycles while it's on you, and what it does is it blocks an attack. So if something attacks you, it absorbs the attack entirely, so it's almost like reducing the damage of the NPC hitting you or the player hitting you by up to 50%, depending on how quickly they're hitting you. So if they hit you at the same speed that this recharges, you'll never take damage. If they hit you 3 times every recharge, you will only get hit twice. Do you see what I mean? That's how ward works. And then a bunch of other stuff that adds things that are class-based, so they're unique to that class, and only that class can cast them, and some of them you can only cast on yourself. Other buffs you can cast on other people. But with Keeper, the heal over time, the blocker, and a bunch of other stuff, excuse me, they all get shared. They're a team buff as well. So if you're in team with other people, all those buffs affect everybody in your team. So you get a Keeper in your team, you've got blockers, hots, evasion buffs, or reflect boosters and stuff like that. And Keeper's really easy to play and always kind of popular for being picked for a team because of that. Did some digging around, found the original PDF. Yeah, Keepers didn't even exist when that came out. Let's have a look. I think I've still got the paper manual. Yeah, that's it. It was a little booklet. It was like A6 format, so it's not even like a sheet of paper, you know. But yeah, that's nice you found that. I'm going to have a look at that later. So yeah, but Keepers are just so self-sufficient if you play one properly. You have to learn how your perks work. Perks are another thing with paid characters. So you can see here, you endgame get 40 perks and 30 alien perks. The alien perks are the green ones, which you need the expansion for. Is it a bad idea to press suggested? It only works for 20 levels, so it should last an hour, and then you'll out level it. If you play like I do, it won't even last that long. And not always, no. Some of these, like if you play NT paid, don't use suggested, or if you use it, go back in after it's done it, and then go to ranged weapons and remove all the IP it's just wasted in pistol. Because on a paid NT, you don't use pistol except for weapons that buff nano skills. And when you put on a cyber deck, your weapon skills drop by 2,000 points. So you put on a weapon that buffs nano skill, like a pepper pistol, but as soon as you re-equip your cyber deck, which allows you to cast better nanos and stuff, then that pistol becomes useless. It can't do any damage anyway. On Froob NT, a lot of people still use pistols because they're not using a cyber deck. Again, these are, you know, tons and tons and tons and tons. I'm offloading decades of information offhand, in an offhanded way, without any kind of constructive format around it. So some of it's going to go right over your head, and I've probably skipped a bunch of other stuff you should know before I told you that thing. So the best way to do it is watch the video series, because we go at a much slower rate, level by level, explaining what we're doing. Yeah, you need to start yeah. So in a reet, if you watch my gearing up for Froobs in a reet, watch that video. It tells you all the quests to do, what you get from those quests for free, and then immediately when you leave that playfield and get to ICC, the quests you should pick up straight away that will give you an entire level for 3 to 5 minutes work. This is a defensive build, keeper, so the damage isn't like the highest possible, but they can off tank. And you know what a tank is? It's the guy that plays, that takes all the aggro and damage. Okay, the boss we're looking for isn't here. It looks like a 10-hand edge weapon. Yeah, it's humongous. There are much lower level variants that use the same mesh. You'll get one from Temple of the Three Winds, which is red, kind of orange and red, like it's on fire. Yeah, there's no way I can explain what the hell to do in a single stream. Even if I made that stream 40 hours long, I would just not get you anywhere. The Lagrange point. Yeah, a lot of what you're doing in game is that, but you need to understand the astrophysics around how a Lagrange point works. You know, so yeah. It's the highest damage possible build. Well, no, Savik's Keeper is more damage than mine because hers is a crit build. So she's equipped gear. Like I've got, so like here, you know, the armor I'm wearing, all of this is really difficult to get stuff. Some of it is exclusive to high-end dungeons and things like that. Whereas Savik's build, some of it's from here, there and everywhere, and is all about building up the crit percentage of the character. So they do in fact do more damage than my character, even with the same weapon, because their crit percentage is higher. But they can't take as much damage because they've sacrificed some of that defensive capability in order to have the higher damage capability with crits. And it's quite nice whenever we play together. It was great because, you know, my auras and whatnot would kind of like save them, but they were doing more damage than me, and you know, it was great. It's great. I love playing with Savik in that way. And Savik, when she plays a doc, is just like, no matter what happens, you just ain't gonna die unless you're an idiot. You know, you got no sound. Anyone else not got sound? Has sound broken? No, is that no sound on Twitch? Let's check it out. Testing sound. Testing sound. Testing. Yeah, it's working here. Yeah, Rello, hit refresh. Hit refresh. Yeah, hit F5. Something's glitched on your browser or something. Sound is okay. Okay, thank God for that. I thought, oh my God, I've been talking for the last 4 or 5 minutes and nobody heard a word I said. Oh, lava's diddly to a keeper. It's nothing. I mean, by the time you're high enough level to get to Inferno, and most people that's around 160, the damage from the lava is... let me just pull up the window you can't see on Twitch. I get hit by 25 points of damage because of my ACs, and ACs are dependent on the armor and buffs you have. My ACs are 15,000. So I sit here and that damage is so negligible that you have a natural heal rate on all characters, okay? And that heal rate is based on your body dev, which is, this is your hit points. So the more hit points you have, the quicker you naturally heal. If you sit down, you heal even quicker. The hit points are bigger and more frequent. So this character is at a point where they can sit in a bunch of mobs and just not die. Even though all the mobs are just wailing on them, their natural heal cycle is such that it can't keep up with their, so the damage they do isn't enough to get further than the natural heal cycle of the character. Well, I think, yeah, that's a mechanic that was in, like, if you did that at level 1, it would kill you pretty quick, because your natural heal cycle is going to be like 10 points of health every 30-40 seconds, and you're getting hit for 25 plus every, much less seconds. Right, I'm getting one more beer and then we're calling it a night. I'm tired, I was up early. Bobblicious, it's sad. I have 52 max HP. You will at level 1. At level 220, you'll have 31,698 if you build your character like mine. You don't start off uber, okay? You start off, you're a gimp, and everything will own your ass until you learn the mechanics of fighting, how to evade, how to get out of the way, how to outrun mobs. Yeah, every single character I've ever made, level 1, they're a gimp. That's it, they're a gimp. They just are. That's how it is. You're a baby in the world, you're in diapers. You can't do anything until you progress. And then the next layer of skills you need to learn is you've got HUD and equipment items. So you get a belt. The belt can have between 1 to 6 slots and other stats, and they allow you to fill these slots with NCU, which is the capacity to hold buffs, which you're going to need. There's other items like how much it costs to cast a particular nano, so it uses less nano pool, which is this stat on body and defense. You can see here it's not very high on this character because once they're buffed, they're done. You could build them differently, so they're recasting buffs constantly in a fight for a particular fight, but you would need to spend that IP. Is there still a raid? Yeah, no, Gridstream Productions very much alive. They've got their own Discord. They broadcast frequently, a few times a week. Yep, they're still going. You should definitely check them out. I have a sealed copy of AO Vanilla on CD key. I wouldn't go spending money on CD keys, something for AO. I wouldn't do that because it's a free download on Steam anyway, and that's maybe all you'll get. Those sites, sometimes you get a bargain, sometimes you get burned. So yeah, be careful of that. If you mean you've got the original disc with the code, yeah, it probably would work, but it would only give you 1 month's subscription, so... Yeah, the better you are at mathematics, the easier this game is to play, because a lot of what you're doing... So if we have a quick look, so we have implants as well. Okay, so these are, once they're on, they're on. You don't need to worry whether or not you match the requirements. So we look at the requirements from this. You need intelligence, sense, and agility from 1,276, and you need 2,088 in treatment. However, if we look at my character, they don't actually have that. But when you're putting them on, you're going to your perks and swapping all of these out for perks that do give you those stats, okay? Once those are done and you match these stats, even if you only match them for 5 minutes before a buff runs out, and you equip it, it's on, it's done. You can then reset all of these will still be there doing what they do, giving you all these huge boosts to hundreds of different stats. And some of that can be done with armor, which can add stats, and with perks, and obviously with buffs and buffs from other players. If you need more treatment, use the treatment machine, that gives you 100. You can get superior first aid from a doctor, that gives you another 80, and so on and so forth. You know, there's a lot. Twinking is like a massive part of the game, and there's so much to know about it. It's kind of like dumbfounding at first. Oh, it's a massive nerd out, Twinking, in this game, but the rewards are awesome. Like, you see level 60 players running around with mostly quality 100 implants, a couple of 180 quality implants, level 75 armor, alien armor, and like a quality 150 weapon, wailing on everything in Temple of the Three Winds. And these are technically known as a temple twink. Like with this character here, I'm going to hit them with this ring, which gives a dot, which is a damage over time. Then I'm going to run away, but only as quickly as they're able to follow me. I'm going to wait till their health bar appears again. There it is. And then I'm going to run to the nearest dungeon entrance, which is here. I'm going to run in. I'm no longer in the zone. I'm inside the dungeon, so I'm safe from them, but the dot is still running on that particular mob, I run back out. Did I get him? Yep, I got him, and an ad. But on this character, one ad is fine. So my character's 220, these mobs are 250 and 232. So in theory, if you tab, it says trying to kill this alone will certainly almost certainly result in your death. Yes, if you don't know what I know and build a character like I've built, in which case, no, it won't. I'm going to kick its arse. Does over-equip... Yeah, it only affects weapons. It doesn't affect HUD items. It does not affect implants. It only affects weapons. So you can put on really high implants and stuff. Oh, sorry, no, it does affect armor as well. So armor and weapons, it does affect. Implants and HUDs, it does not affect. Which is why people walk around with really high level implants that they spent weeks getting into with buffs and items and rings and, you know, whatever, jumping through hoops to get them on. But once they're on, they're on. You can go back to resetting the character to something you want. Hope Actual Ellie records this stream. Who's that? Actual Ellie. Actual Ellie, welcome to the stream. Yeah, the VOD will be on Twitch for as long as it's on Twitch, but also the VOD will be on YouTube in perpetuity. So on YouTube, this stream will be on YouTube because I stream to both simultaneously. On YouTube, there's no camera for me, and there's no banners and stuff. There's no chat spamming up across the screen because on YouTube, I try and keep it as all my other YouTube videos are. I'm going to use one heal perk there. F1 target self, F3 target perk. There you go. Still at full health. They didn't drop anything I want. Who's Actual Ellie then? Been following for an hour. Okay. I missed your follow. Sorry. Welcome on in. What are you farming here? I'm not. I'm just demonstrating what keepers are like at endgame and just how easy they are to play. I don't particularly need anything as such. I'm just going to, you know, high-level mobs in Inferno. Just to kind of show, you know, here's what a keeper can do if you build them properly. Are the longer subs safe money? Game isn't likely... No, it can't be disappeared because the Norwegian government own part of the game, which means Funcom can't shut it down. I guess the stream is no longer a Grace giveaway. I don't have Graces to give away. They've all gone. Yeah, we used to do a Grace giveaway every Saturday because somebody donated the 52 Graces to give away. And I gave one away every week without fail, no matter how tired I was or whatever else. I was like, nope, we're doing a stream. We're going to give away a Grace. And we literally stuck with that for 3 years. And we gave away those Graces. Yeah, if the stream title is Grace Giveaway, that's what's happening. If it's just not, then it's not. I can do a Grace giveaway tomorrow, but it comes out of my own pocket where I actually buy a Grace from Funcom. And then give away the game key. I'm going to do the same guy again with this guy. I'm going to try. Am I? Creep. I am dotting you. Right, okay, I've dotted him. Let's try the same trick again. Yeah, watch gearing up in Frubes, because you can miss out on looting regular stuff that can be used to make pretty useful gear at low levels. Like braces that change your damage type to poison, which is really useful at low levels. A HUD item which gives you a bit more damage, etc. And buy the newcomer's armor. Buy quality 1. Yeah, buy quality 1, because if you right click that armor, it levels to your level. Savix maps. Yes, I've made quite a few videos about Savix maps, and I absolutely use them. They are the best maps of the game ever. Okay, Crete is still aggroed on me, but he's shaken all the ads. Here we go. It's been around for a minute. It's still kicking, yeah. Yeah, some people worry about the longevity of the game. Oh, is it going to disappear soon? Funcom can't, I don't think, shut it down, because when they initially started up as a company, the Norwegian government gave them some sort of a grant or investment, which means the Norwegian government technically owns a certain part of Anarchy Online. And unless they say, yes, you can shut it down, they can't shut it down. And being the Norwegian government, they're going to just keep going, nope. To be honest, there should be both newcomer armor and newcomer implants. It would be nice. Yeah, if you go on my channel and search Savix map of Rubicon, you'll pick up the video and how to install the map. The Savix map is actually bundled with the game, but it's the old version. So if in game, at any point, press P for planet map, and then click the little I dot in the corner, and then go select map. It will bring up a menu, and one of those will say Savix map of Rubicon, which is a layered map. So you get, all the way out like that. Zoom in, you get greater detail of what's where, and stuff like that. Zoom in again, you get further detail of quest mobs and stuff like that, which does make navigation and getting around Rubicon, etc., and in Savix's case, getting around Rubicon much easier. You know where grid exits are, you know where Wampas are, you know where Dynamobs are, which drop special loot, etc. So, yeah. Okay, nothing good on him. I think I'll go back and check on Creepy, actually, see if he's respawned. Yeah, like on Savix's map of Rubicon, it shows you which Wampa connects to which Wampa. It also shows you the fixer grid exits, where grids are in any given city, where shops are in any given region, and what kind of shop it is. Is it basic, advanced, or...
Her Excellency Eva Poor Eyes would like to remind everyone that if you want a real sense of community, join Omnitech today. Be part of our family. Be part of humanity's future.
And there we go. That was Soto Mohoney. Thank you for the 100 bits. Much appreciated. So that's in-game propaganda from the evil corporation that is Omnitech. No, they're not really. People that play Omnitech or play Clan or play Neutral, you know what? They're all the bloody same. They're all great people. Some people are more into the role play of the game, which is that there is quite a long and very interesting story to the game. Soto Mahoney is a friend, but they play on the opposite side to me. Does that mean we're enemies? No. If we had a D&D night, we'd be best buddies. It'd be like that, okay? We're playing a game. You know, I'm the bad. Okay, I'm going to be this thing and you're going to be that thing. Pew pew. That's all it is. It's as simple and you know, as innocent as that. Okay, some people get real wrapped around the axle on it, and I'm like, dude, it's a game. You know, and okay, some people get really wrapped round on it, but there you go. Oh dear. Yeah, so what was that? Yeah, exactly. So Soto Mahoney, famous, totally not an Omni spy. That's his own meme that he made that I stole and I put on screen every time he shows up. Yeah, you see, I go to the prisoner daily and there can be Omni there can be Clan there can be Neutral there. I don't give a shit. Oh, are you doing the daily? Yeah. Oh, let's just team up and kill them together. Do you need any of the loot? Well, if he drops so-and-so. Oh, yeah, I don't need one of those. You get it. That's how I am with people in-game. Okay? I don't PvP anymore because it's just so broken now with boxing and exploits, and it's just, I can't even tell you how stupid it is now. So I just don't bother with it, you know. I tell you what, life's better without it. For me, there's no stress because I'm like, yeah, you know, you're just someone else that plays the game. I don't care what faction you are. Why would I care? We both love playing the same game. Why is that a problem? You know, it really, I mean, but some people get really like, oh, people that play on this faction are this. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're millions of different things because they're individuals with different wants and needs and opinions. You know, they're just people, okay? Yeah, the whole division thing, it's a role play thing. It's optional. You don't have to, you know. I mean, the only time it's not optional is if you're Clan and you go to an Omni-owned city, the guards, the NPCs will aggro, okay? Right? One or two of the players may also aggro, but they're like, yay, fresh meat. That's what they're thinking, okay? They're like, oh, a quick and easy kill, an unprepared attackable player, I'm going to hit them for my PvP score. But personally, I just couldn't give a shit. I really couldn't. You know, I don't care. I know that you are not my enemy in reality, so you're not my enemy in the game either. If we're going to roleplay some shit, so, you know, oh, we're going to do a roleplay event and you're going to be this, I'm going to be that, yeah, I'm just going to join in, I'm going to play the role, we're going to have fun, we're going to laugh and joke about it afterwards. That's all it is. It you know, it's just kids in the playground. It's not a serious thing for me. But for some people, they really believe that, you know, anyone that made an Omni character is a superior being to someone that didn't, and vice versa. You know, so someone that made a Clan character is superior to someone that made an Omni character. I'm like, dude.
This is a paid advertisement from your good friend the Good Time Party Mixer. Have another beer. That is all.
Thank you again, Soto Mahoney, for the bits. Much appreciated. I remember Cass, not only was it badass and useful as heck, I remember making bank on that line because I was trade-based Engie. Oh yeah, if you can make the symbiotic armor, yeah. It's cool looking armor though. I mean, my dude. Some of the coolest looking armor in the game. I've got some on an adv I made. Right, let's pull this boss. Outside range. Outside range. Okay, dot. Got him. I didn't really need to dot him. I could have just aggro pulled him. Now I'm going to get ads, but I'm on this keeper, so I'm okay. I've got nowhere to go hide. I shouldn't have used the dot ring because it doesn't... Oh my god. Yeah, a level of detail thing going on there for some reason. I think new engine bug, to be honest. Open ships, here I come. Yeah, I mean, I've got it on, but it's just like social armor because obviously they're wearing alien invasion armor because, you know, alien invasion armor's got all the stats, so... AO drama is still big for a dead game. Yeah, surprisingly so, considering the game is dead, but people still bitch and argue at 100 posts a minute on forums. Yeah, it's quite surprising for a dead game. It's a dead game with a hell of a pulse. I'm not dead. Yes, he is. Just put him on the wagon. Can't you take him? Well, I'm not supposed to, you know. Is it as busy as WoW servers and such? No, but it never was anyway. I mean, that's apples to oranges, you know. I remember being part of that roleplay with it. Yeah, I mean, it's good fun, but the thing is, you know, I'd be role-playing, but in real life would, like, be phoning and going, oh, we're going to do this thing? Can you do that thing? Because I'll just make the event so much cooler if you do that. Oh, yeah, let's do the thing. You know, we're playing games. We're grown-ups, but we get to play games like we did as kids when we role-play. You know, it's all good. Do I take it seriously? No, it's a game. You know. Okay, the boss is down, so we can do one. And he dropped nothing of any... Well, nothing cool. Okay, let's try the other guy. Uh-oh. Oh, he's there. Oh, that's surprising. I saw all the calmed mobs and kind of assumed that someone had already killed him and calmed the ads. At the moment, I have many ads. If I'd have tried this in 2003, when Shadowlands launched, I'd be so incredibly dead about now. But since then, we've had a bunch of expansions, and skill creep is skill creep. So... I might have bitten off more than I can chew here anyway, I'm not sure. If I get too low, I'm just hitting Dimash. And heal off that. It's not dead. I'm getting better. She turned me into a newt. I got better, says 6'5" John Cleese.
I am Brian, the voice of Omnitech. I graduated top of my class from the Ron Burgundy School of Public Communication. I will read anything you put on the teleprompter. Omnitech protects.
So Mahoney having fun with with the bits thing. I think I've got more ads than I know what to do with here, but okay. Dimash! Oh, look at that, I all healed up. And the boss is almost down. And my heal perks are recycling. And I've got first aids I've not used yet. Oh, boss is dead. Okay. And he didn't drop anything cool either. Hit Shadow Breed. Oh, I could. I didn't need to. I try and save it in case one of my characters needs a perception buff. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I really need that now. Oh, I've got 3 days to wait before I can use it again. if you have a tech problem, who knows if you'll ever see your character again. I don't know about that. Oh dear. Bloody relics now? I don't know. Right, I'm gonna go. Who else is streaming Anarchy Online? I bet it's just bloody me. As it usually is, but let's have a look. On the Twitch, okay. So there's me, Rubicard live feed, which is cool, but it's not really a stream where you can...
Borealis got you down? Can't find what you need in Newland City? Fear not, good consumer. Find everything you need for yourself and your friends in Omni One. Shop till you drop with Omnitrans in trade. Visit today.
Thank you, Soto Mahoney, for all the bits this evening. That's pretty cool. What a freak. Oh, don't be mean. Right, we're going to go raid Lost, because Lost is fun. Let me just get their username. There we go. Right, so Twitch viewers, we're going to go raid Lost. What are they playing? Morrowind. Oh my god. Everyone explain everything to her. No, don't do that. I'm only joking. So go raid them. YouTube doesn't have the raid feature, so oh my god, there's like 20 people watching on YouTube. That's nuts. Yeah, I stream to YouTube because you get the better bitrate and the videos last in perpetuity. So anyway, thank you all for coming along. Tomorrow I'm going to do something with Space Quest. I'm not sure what. I'll probably give away a grace or something. It'll be a grace code as well. But until then, I love you all. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the resubs. Thank you for the new sub. And I'll see you in the next one. Love you all. Bye for now.